Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the build of the week, and this week's build of the week is the time limit category. Now the time limit category is a pretty cool category, but it's a very limited category, especially in terms of lead and just general like execution. It's not the biggest category in the world in Dokkan. But it's interesting. It's got a couple various kind of under the current team builds, and it's got quite a few buffs recently, so I thought let's take a look. Now in terms of lead, you have only one, the Tech LR Gogeta, aka the Tech LR Goku and Vegeta Angel. Now these guys are currently the only lead, but that doesn't mean you can't build a time limit team if you don't have them. There's a ton of great sub leads and sub-team builds that are viable underneath the category. There's plenty of great units that you can use and build the team with. There's Super Saiyan 3 teams, there's Power Beyond Super Saiyan teams, there's Fusion teams, and there's plenty of other great teams you can build with. So it's not stuck being only, that lead. There's tons of great units as well, and generally speaking, the stronger categories that you can build underneath here are Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 3, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Fusion, and Fused Fighter. Those are going to be your stronger categories that you can kind of build underneath this one. Majin Buu Saga also has a team, but it's very limited, although quite strong. So let's talk a little bit about team. So obviously, as you can see, Fusion, definitely a big one. Fused Fighter, definitely a big one. Power Beyond Super Saiyan, also quite big. Super Saiyan 3, also quite big, although limited, but a decent-ish category. So there's lots of great sub-teams you can build here. If you look here, you can see a Fused Fighters team is quite popular. Power Beyond Super Saiyan will be quite popular underneath the AGL Blue Boys. You also have Power Beyond Super Saiyan underneath the Tech God Boys. You have Final Trump Card that you can build. There's plenty of viability with the time limit category within itself. The big issue that you're going to have is just obviously making sure that you build the sub-team correctly. Now, linking up the units from all the different categories is also not too bad either. If we're talking strictly speaking, how to link or build the team, a lot of the units do tend to share links, like especially if you look at Super Saiyan 3 units. Super Saiyan 3 units tend to have over in a flash, they tend to have shocking speed. Fused units or Fused Fighter units also tend to have shocking speed or over in a flash. They don't tend to strictly have prepared for battle, which is something you're more commonly seeing in traditional hybrid Saiyans or pure Saiyans units. Now it's not to say that there isn't a prepared for battle, like there aren't units that have prepared for battle, but it is important to understand that you don't necessarily need strictly that one key link. Now, like I said, Majin Buu Saga does have a team, and it's a pretty good team, but it's probably one of the more limited ones, but it is pretty good. It's a lot of fun, there's some good versatility, especially with Tech Gotenks' Super Easy A coming out. There is some decent grounds to run the Majin Buu Saga team and see some success there. So there's quite a lot of really good stuff going on. Not to mention, this team's got quite a few buffs recently from the Majin Buu Saga, being the Physical Buu, Han, you've got the AGL, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Like I said, we've got the Easy A for Int Gotenks, we'll be getting a Super Easy A for Tech Gotenks. So there is definitely grounds for, the Majin Buu Saga category having beefed up this one. If we're talking strictly my favorite team, prepared Power Beyond Super Saiyan is probably my favorite subcategory to run. Gives you probably access to the stronger units on the category whilst running them under a successful lead, and I think you have some good flexibility. I definitely think Super Saiyan 3 Goku helps in this regard, but you do got to remember that to activate his full passive, he needs a Majin Buu Saga category ally running alongside him. So if you want to use him correctly, you're going to probably need Int Gotenks to really make him work, whereas everyone else isn't too restricted in terms of their functionality. I think the only real one that is has like a requirement is obviously the AGL Super Saiyan God SS Goku and Vegeta. They need another Future Saga category ally on the team, but that's not too impossible, especially if you're choosing them as a friend lead, so it's not a big issue at all. Like I said, links wise, shocking speed, over in a flash, those are generally going to be where you find success. Super Saiyan, Golden Warrior, all of these should come in handy and be fairly consistent, especially Super Saiyan. You got Super Saiyan with like the Blue Boys, the God Boys, the SS4 Boys, the fused units, it's fairly common. I will say the Super Saiyan 4 units are probably the ones that tend to struggle the most in time limit, because they are very specific. They look to link with other Super Saiyan 4 units, and your options are pretty limited. You have them, you have SS4 Vegito, and you have SS4 Vegito Limit Breaker. You do also have the Int SS4 Gogeta, but he's probably a unit that's pending Easy A more than anything else. Now, with that being said, overall, a relatively solid team. Free-to-play options are quite limited here. We're looking mainly at Strength a la Vegito, but there are some interesting picks that will still help you with a lot of early game content. The Super Strike Gotenks will help you with pretty much any SBR, ESBR, even Fighting Legend Goku and stuff like that. This SS3 Goku Angel, very strong, very awesome. I've been using him in a couple of red zones, quite consistent, very powerful, super duper helpful. So I do quite like him, and there are still some other interesting SPR and ESBR options besides that. Goku Angel, Gotenks and Ghost, etc. I think overall it's a pretty fun category and a really nice build. I think there's good amount of sub teams underneath here, and I think it's recently got enough buffs. The biggest buff still coming is the physical LR Gogeta from the 9th anniversary, and he's probably the only other unit you'd look to slot in here. But that's really about it. Honestly, super fun category and a super nice build. But that's it from me. Bye.